After Christmas. How are you doing? Okay, if you are on the replay, let me know you're on the replay and where you're coming in from. I am excited to see all of my friends this morning from across the country. Well, countries, because, we dip into other countries as well, other than the United States. So, hello, good to see you guys. Okay, so if you do not know, my lips are really dry. I apologize. I should have done this before I came on. Put a little something on my lips. I'm in Minnesota. This is how this goes. It's a little dry here. Okay, if you do not know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt. How you doing? Basically, my background story for all of you strangers, because there are so many. There's so many. It's like amazing. And like, just you guys, it's so much fun. I get to meet new friends all the time. I am born and raised in Minnesota. Here I am, and I was raised by a type 2 insulin dependent dad, and I'm Italian. That's probably all you really need to know. And there's a lot of obesity and type 2 in my family. And so I am the one that should have been type 2 because I was gestational when I was 22 with my first baby, and then I was hypoglycemic with my second baby. Two sides of the exact same coin. And then I went on and did nothing for 30 years because that's just maybe a little stubbornness of where I am in my life. I don't know. But I basically didn't. I just maybe thought that it was just genetics. Okay, sirrah, whatever was going to happen, yada, yada. And now I am the only person in my immediate family that has avoided type 2 diabetes. And it should not have been me. Should not have been me. But it is. And I just took a completely different route in my 50s than my dad did. And that's what I love to share with you guys, because this is not a terminal diagnosis. This is a turnaroundable conversation. You just need to know that. So I love to bring you guys information that really helps you. We've been doing this daily show Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central for almost 2 years now. There is a group also for your little walk of a program called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I always tell you, give your best email to get in and tell them Kirsten sent you, because every month for the last 2.5 years, we have done a free 5-day challenge. And that ain't no joke, people. You guys get the best results because of the challenge. Like, you just string together enough months until you get success. And like, your testimonies are like, boom, from like weight loss to getting off of meds and like things that are really cool. Like all of a sudden, well, I shouldn't say all of a sudden, because that's not true. It's really like your anxiety goes away. All of these things that are connected to insulin resistance that people do not know about. And we're going to talk about one of those today. Today, we're going to talk about one of those because we're going to talk about type 3 diabetes. Have you heard of type 3 diabetes? Insulin resistance of the brain. Good morning, Terry. How was your Christmas? Did you have a good Christmas? Golly, we had a very beautiful Christmas, FYI. Did church and family on Christmas Eve. And then yesterday we did a movie with my little grand boys. They are 4 and 3. And it was David. It was the David movie, the animation, whatever. And it was so good. This is really, really a good movie. 10 out of 10 recommend. I probably need to put that on my profile. 10 out of 10 recommend. It was really good. It was very engaging. It was done well. It was musical, had music in it. It was great. So anyway, there you go. All right. Good morning, Geraldine. I had a great Christmas. I hope you did too. Everybody's jumping on. Woohoo. Okay. So this is what I wanted to do today. I wanted to be able to bring you this information. I was watching hi, Sue. I was watching a reel on, by he's not a doctor. Kirsten, don't say doctor. He's not a doctor. Scientist Gary Brecka, if you guys know who he is. Terry says it was good, but some family couldn't come due to illness. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's kind of stinky, but always good if we don't spread, right? Like, we want that for sure. So I was listening to some Gary Brecka, and I thought, I'm going to bring this information to you, and then I'm going to remind you of the step process that we have going on around here. Because listen, the next free 5-day challenge is going to start Monday, January 5th, and it's going to go 5th through the 9th. Like, there you go. Terry's done like 4,000 of them. I'm not sure. It might be 4,000 now that she's done. I'm just kidding. We haven't done that many. But Terry has done a lot. But you know what? Terry also has results. You want to know what Terry's results are? She's lost 50 pounds. She lost that, I think, in like 8 to 10 months, 50 pounds. She lost 13 and a half inches from her trunk area because we are dealing with visceral fat people. That's what we're doing. And she's kept it off for over a year. She weighs less than she did 30 years ago. So you can turn this around and get the results you're looking for. You just have to stick around long enough to understand how we're doing it. That's all. And then you just decide that you're going to have a completely different 2026 than you did 2025. And so anyway, okay. So let's jump into some content and get you guys going for the day, going for the weekend. I keep feeling like it's Monday in my brain. It's like, it's Monday. It's Monday. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's Friday. It's Friday. So anyway, there you go. So we're going to do let me pull up my information. We're going to do the free 5-day challenge starting on Monday, January 5th in the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. It'll go through the 9th. I'll go live for 5 days in a row. And this is how you get to find out how to have the exact same type of results as Terry does. And for any of you that are already, please listen to this, because we get very like off course because of the holidays. It kind of throws us for a little bit of a loop-de-loo. If you are already a part of the customer campaign, you guys don't miss December, because you'll get bonus $50 in January. So don't miss December, okay? And that customer campaign is when you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off that third month all the time until they end the campaign. And they haven't said they're going to end it. It's been going since March. So many of you have, every 3 months you're cashing in, and then you're cashing in, and then you're getting somebody else to pay you for your wellness journey. How smart are you? How smart are you? But they're throwing an extra $50 bonus in January for those who are doing it in December. So if you have questions, let me know. I don't want anybody to miss out. I will be sending out a text later on today, just reminding you to not miss out, because I don't know of anywhere else you can like do something like this. I mean, you don't want just a couple points to get $3 off, $75 off every 3 months. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. All right, so here we go. Have you heard? I'd love to know if anybody has actually heard that term, type 3 diabetes. Has anybody heard that before? Can tell me in the comments below. I would love to know if you've heard of that term. And this is kind of near and dear to my heart. Hi, Barb from Ontario. Good to see you. Good morning, Linda. I'm so glad you are here. I hope you had a really Merry Christmas. Wonderful. So good. This is really near and dear to my heart. The reason why is because my mother, who was 100% Swedish, married my father, who was 100% Italian. And in the Italian family, there is tons of obesity and type 2 diabetes. In the Swedish family, not so much, right? Like, it just wasn't that much. So basically, my mom's mom, she was 97 when she passed. Longevity in the genes there, right? 97, playing Scrabble. Everything intact. We were just talking about this over Christmas because we were like, Grandma knew every single 2-letter word that would get you 50 points in Scrabble. You could not beat Grandma. And she was the most patient Swedish lady on the face of the planet. She would just sit there and she would just wait for you to agonize over, laying down the word hat. I mean, honestly, she was just like, and she would just like, and then if you question it, she'd be like, she had the dictionary by her. I mean, that was my mom's mom. So we did not see Alzheimer's coming. Did not see that coming from my mom. Okay. So my mom, being married into the Italian family, learns all of the Italian ways. She is an amazing baker, cooker. She had a home economics degree. My dad owned Italian restaurants in Minneapolis. And so she made the pies for the cafe when he owned a cafe at one point. She made the caramel rolls that were amazing. So my mom goes on through life, ends up with I can see it so clearly now. It's like that whole crystal ball thing. It's 2020. I can look back and go over her entire life and go, OMG. She was so filled with inflammation because of her high insulin in her body. It was cuckoo bananas. And she had like hip surgeries, and she ended up with a knee surgery. That was much later, but she had hip replacement surgeries, and she was diagnosed with all sorts of arthritis stuff. And she was so inflamed. And then later in life, when she should have never been type 2, she ends up with type 2. Well, yeah, because she was living like a type 2 person does before they get diagnosed with type 2. Because she was living with a type 2 person. Get it? Like this, I just look at this and I'm like, oh my stars. So I watched the whole thing happen, and then she ends up with dementia. We were like, what? Well, now every one of us knows. Do you remember back in the days where we would be like, it's really kind of crazy. Like, we all seem to know somebody with cancer now, don't we? Oh my gosh, like, how is this happening? We all know somebody. Now we're like, duh, right? Because that's what happens. It's like the frog in the pot slowly gets hot until the frog is, deceased. But it didn't even know enough to jump out. This is what's happening with Alzheimer's. New memory care on every exit ramp, baby. We'll just build another one. We'll just build another. Oh, it must just because the boomers. There's just so many of them. That must be what that is. It's just the boomers. There's so many. No, I call BS. I call BS. And so when people like Gary Brecka and many, many others, like, because I'm not the doctor, right? And I'm not the scientist. But when all of these other people with degrees and credibility come out and they say, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance of the brain. So why is this different than insulin resistance of the body? And this is kind of, where when we know more, we do more, right? We take a little bit more responsibility for our own health, and we take more responsibility. Now, I'm sure that there are other dynamics and all sorts of things, and nothing is ever as like flat and one layered as we think it's going to be. Like, I'm not, confused about that. But here we go. So they're now calling it Alzheimer's, type 3 diabetes. And here's the part that should honestly make us pause. This should make us pause, okay? Most people don't know that the brain makes its own insulin. Now, this has all been new to me. Like, I did not understand this either. So we all are in the same boat, right? Most people don't know that. Even many endocrinologists aren't talking about this yet. And I'll tell you, it's frustrating when it's not frustrating that you text me. I love it when you text me, but it's frustrating when the message is, yeah, I just came back from my endocrinologist and then da, 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 da. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And that's for other things too, not just for this, but I'm just saying, when insulin resistance happens in the brain, the fallout is very differently than the body. It's very different than the body. We know this. Because Alzheimer's, it is such an icky disease. I sat next to somebody Monday night. We went out to dinner with the staff from where my husband works. And I met this lovely lady, and we sat and we chatted. We immediately had connection. And her husband had early onset Alzheimer's for 15 years, and she took care of him. And I was like, oof. Because we took care of my mama for 5 years. And so we talked about it, and we both just sat there and said to each other, it sucks. It's so hard. That's why I always say to you guys, like, if you're taking care of an elderly parent with dementia, like, you just need to understand that it's okay. It's okay for you to know it's hard, and it's okay for you to understand the stress maybe that's on your body taking care of them. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. So type 3 diabetes is not about blood sugar numbers on a lab report. So it's a little different, but it's all the same yet. So hold on. It's insulin resistance of the brain. So the body can store sugar safely. The rest of your body can store sugar safely. The liver will store glycogen. This is why we talk about the liver all the time, right? The muscles will store glycogen. Sugar can be released and reused when needed, but the brain cannot store sugar the same way. Okay, that's what's going on. So why the brain is different. The brain works through the communication gaps called synaptic junctions. Basically, it's nerve endings that don't touch. Okay. Signals jump across tiny little gaps. This is what's happening. And remember, this is information coming from Gary Brecka if people want to know the source here. These gaps must stay clean and responsive in order for them to jump, right? So when insulin resistance happens in the brain, glucose cannot be used efficiently. And those gaps start filling with debris. Okay? They start filling with debris. This is where amyloid plaque and neurofibrillary tangles show up. I'm going to say that again because, new words, right? Amyloid plaque, that's not a new word to me because of my mama. Amyloid plaques and neurofibrillary tangles. Neurofibrillary tangles show up. Okay. So the connection to Alzheimer's. No fear in this, you guys. No fear. We're not going to do that, right? We're just going to do some truth, right? Just the more you know, the more you can then take it back. And then when you jump into the group and you are doing the 5-day challenge, you will just have yet another reason to make sure that you are like, you know what? I am going to finally believe that this is not as hard as I've been thinking. I am finally going to believe that I can turn this around. I am finally just going to believe and trust the process that I can lose the weight. I can get off of scripts. I can still be a foodie and learn how to change out my ingredients. And I'm just going to believe that. That's what I want you to do. I want you to be like, okay, this is just another reason for me to stay on my game, because what are my alternatives? I watched my mother become a massive carb addict. Bad. Because she had renal cancer. So she lost a kidney like 25 years before she died. And so she lost a kidney and they said, oh, be very scared of protein. Oh, be so scared of protein. Oh, don't eat protein. So my mother was scared of protein, which now there's a lot of science that flips that script from other doctors. And it just pisses me off. It ticks me off. How do we live in the 21st century? And we teach people anyway. So she became a total carb addict. And then the next step was, type 2 diabetes. Like, what are we doing? So then she ended up with type 2. She should have never. That's ridiculous. And then, of course, the brain. So she just totally went downhill from there. Okay. So the plaque and those tangles, that's the physical hallmark of Alzheimer's. It's the plaque and the tangles, okay? So when researchers say type 3 diabetes, what they're really saying is this sentence right here. Insulin resistance disrupts brain signaling long before memory loss ever shows up. Now, again, I know that there are many different kinds of dementia. You don't need to tell me. I took classes. I learned. I went to a memory care place. I never became certified. That's not what they were offering. But I took all the classes so I could become a better caregiver, so that I could understand the dumb process of Alzheimer's, because it's such a dumb disease. It's so frustrating for the people who are taking care, because it's like, God, like their life, their essence is stolen from them. And it's like hard on your heart, right? So insulin resistance disrupts brain signaling long before memory loss ever shows up. Sounds familiar to when we talk about high insulin in the body, and it's high long before the blood sugar goes up in the blood and it shows up on a lab test. So you're like, but I was fine. 2 minutes ago, I was fine. 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, they said my labs were fine. What do you mean now I'm pre-diabetic? Because they should have pulled a fasting insulin test 15 years ago, but they don't. 10 years ago, but they don't. Okay. So this sounds very familiar, right? So that insulin resistance, it's high for a long time. Let's get the insulin down. Let's get the insulin down before it shows up in your blood, before it shows up in memory loss. Okay. Let's do that. Let's fix that. And we talk every single day about what raises your insulin. And it's not always just food, right? And how can you get that down? How can you like target your supplementation to pound that down, tamp it down? That's why we do this every day, right? So why sugar and insulin matter. Okay. Our brains become craving driven when insulin signaling is broken. So we have all these cravings. We just crave. And here we are beating ourselves up as though it's a character flaw. Stop it. It's not a character flaw. You have literally systems in your body that produce cravings in order to get what it needs because maybe it's deficient in something. Okay. Does that make sense? So it's not willpower. It's not weakness. It's chemistry. It's chemistry. So your daily life might look like this then. Like insulin resistance, brain fog. Maybe you have word finding issues. I am going to tell you, I have not been talking about this lately. I'll just say a sentence on it for just a second. Hi, Carmel. Good to see you. How's your brother? How's your brother? I would love to know. Sue says, Grandma Anna was 100 and Grandma Alicia was 104 and she had Alzheimer's. Oh, I know. Oh, type 3 only from me. You've heard it from. Yep, Terry. I know. Yep. It's just saddening. Anyway, I will let Carmel answer if she's still back on. So what was I going to say? I was going to say something very, very interesting about that. When you have word finding issues. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I haven't talked about this much yet, but there was a launch in October of the lion's mane. And because I always want to take something for a long period of time, when it says that, you still see, you're still ramping up your results for 90 days, then I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to hype anything for you guys, but I will just tell you intermittently, I am loving that product. It's almost like I feel like there is an edge to my thought process, a little better edge. Lion's mane is a mushroom and they launched an organic one in my line in October. And anyway, I'm giving it a thumbs up. We'll talk about it at a later date when I have more experience and whatever with it. But so far, I'm really liking it. Stick with it if you're on it. Anyway, so your daily life might be brain fog, word finding issues, mood changes, anxiety. Oh, we've been talking about that one a lot lately because there have been testimonies coming in from your anxiety going away because you're turning around your insulin resistance with what we talk about. Forgetfulness, feeling like you're just not yourself. That's kind of how this is. These are early whispers, not diagnoses, just early whispers. Like just pay attention. Like when your insulin resistance is inching you towards pre-diabetes or something, like let's turn it back now. Let's not wait for something else. Okay, let's do that. So medicine is still really reactive. That's just the way it is. It's set up that way. So, we can be mad all we want. And some days I am a little more passionate than others. But the point being that, that's their protocol. Their protocol is to be reactive and not proactive. So we're told, wait until your blood sugar rises. Bad information, really, really bad information. Wait until your blood sugar rises. Wait until your memory declines. Bad information, really, really bad information. Or wait until symptoms are undeniable. And, we just don't do that anymore, right? And so they're waiting until they can track it. Well, let's not do that. Like their advice is bad. Let's do our own pre-offensive, let's be offensive on everything. Let's take control of our own health because apparently they're going to wait until it shows up in a lab. We're not interested in that anymore, right? We're done with that now. They've had their chance and now we have to take it back. But insulin resistance shows up years, sometimes decades earlier. This is what is so mind-boggling, right? For us. This is why I teach insulin resistance before disease. So we teach high insulin before it shows up in other ways. So you don't need to list everything that you're feeling all the time, but you can keep a running kind of like mindfulness of what you are feeling and assess your own body. You used to be an amazing assessor of your body. We all did as women. We were really good assessors when we were adolescent. right? Because our bodies were changing and we were hyper focused inward. We were like, shy, good morning, good morning. Thank you. We were hyper focused on our bodies. And then all of a sudden, like for me now, might not be for you, but for me, I went on, I got married, I started having babies. And now then you're just like, you're kind of like beholden to the process of something that you've never been through before. And you're like, oh, wow. Like now you're kind of like just going down the river because you have to, until you've had a baby, you don't know what it's like to have a baby. Like you have no idea what that's like. And so then that first time, now you're just kind of like being more defensive instead of offensive. When you're a preteen and adolescent, you're like, oh, I know exactly, like by that level of cramping in my body, I know that my period is like maybe a day or two away or what. You're like super assessing. We're going to go back to those days. We're going to go back to assessing ourselves really well. Okay. So you're going to want to stabilize your insulin. You're going to want to support your liver. You're going to want to reduce your constant glucose spikes. Like how many of you had glucose spikes over the holidays, right? You're going to want to nourish your brain and not feed the chaos. Like you have to take control. Nobody can do this for you. And that's sometimes that alone feeling at first that can make us feel like overwhelmed. But then when you realize you do have control, then, and I don't know if Patty's on here today, but Patty has said, this is the longest time I've ever stayed on a program. And that feeling of having control again is so good. It's so good because you're like, it does. It feels really good. So again, we're not talking about fear or anything like that, but we are talking about protecting the most expensive organ that you own. Like your brain is everything. So we need to do this, right? So as I always say to you guys, you know what? You're not broken. You're not too late to the game. This was not a terminal diagnosis. Now, we didn't know enough to help my mom, but my sister and I have talked about this since then. Had we implemented a few more things, we might have been able to. We actually do believe some of the research that we were reading and questioning at the time, and now we actually believe it more strongly. But we just didn't, and it's okay. It's okay. Like she was 94. God bless her. Like she's with Jesus. There's no guilt involved or anything. But the wording on this, the conversation on this was new. It was new to us. And it certainly was never given mainstream. I mean, like never. And it wasn't really until the pandemic that we were allowed, or we gave ourselves permission to start to question everything. Because we woke up fast. Man, in like a heartbeat. My sister and I went, whoa, we can see what's happening. We can see the writing on the wall. And so we woke up fast, but we still had so much research to do. And there are some things that we could have done, but it's okay. We did the best we could. And we had her at home with us up until the last 3 months because we were able to keep her steady, keep her stable, keep her functioning. Okay, that was our goal and it worked. Okay, so, but Alzheimer's is not random. Insulin resistance just doesn't affect your weight. And I know we all want to talk about the weight. Me too. Me too. I lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. Me too. I want to talk about changing sizes. I want to talk about like being able to tuck in a blouse like Terry has said. I want to talk about like getting, losing all the inches right here. Like I do too. And I've enjoyed this process. I mean, it's taken me way longer than I thought because I was dealing with a lot of stuff up here. That's me, not you. But I'm super grateful for that, right? But this is not just about weight. And we have to realize that, like the end result of type 2 gone wrong or turning into type 3 before you're gone, like maybe passing isn't the worst thing. Did I just say that out loud? I might have just said that out loud because maybe my grandpa, who was blind and in a wheelchair from type 2 and dying in his 70s, or my dad dying of type 2 at 63, both Italian, maybe that's not as bad as having Alzheimer's and having, it not taken you. Okay, that's just a thought process. Don't jump on me for it. I just lived through both. That's all. I just lived through both. So, but it affects the brain. Education changes outcomes. If you are educated, then you will take a different level of responsibility for your own body. You will take a different heightened mindfulness towards what you're doing. Okay. So let's just jump into this for just a second. Like when we're going to talk about like the total body reset and stuff. Let me see here. Okay. People are talking to me. This is awesome. All right. Okay. Your brother's coming home tomorrow. Hallelujah. Okay. Very, very good. I'm so glad, Carmel. You have been taking the lion's mane. Hold on. And you agree, Carmel. That's fantastic. Okay. See, and I haven't mentioned it because I just kind of wait a little bit. I test things on my own. So that's very cool. I'm really liking it a lot. But anyway, okay. I take 2 every morning. Oh, good morning, Joan. Thank you for your Christmas card, you sweetie pie, or maybe it was a thank you or what, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are amazing. Lynn, exactly. We have to be proactive. We do. We do. I know. It's just what it is. Okay. So when I talk to you guys about like food ingredient trade outs, and we do that in the group, I also equally talk to you about targeted supplementation. But you have to understand the reason why I do it every single day is because I actually could do it 3 times a day, 5 times a day. This is how convinced I am because of the results that you guys have given me. When you guys give me lab reports and you give me MRI results, or you give me liver enzyme numbers, or you give me whatever, I know your bodies are going in a different direction. You are accelerating the turning around of this insulin resistance. So I can't say it enough. I can't speak highly enough of taking things that are literally sourced for insulin resistance. And I know that not everybody understands that, and that's okay. But I'll show you where you can literally find, because I go briefly here. I'll show you where I have a 9-minute video if you care, and you may not. But if you care, my site, because I'm going to show you the 6 pieces right now. My site is kirstenliebelt.com. There, I just put it on the screen for Facebook and YouTube. kirstenliebelt.com for you guys. I'm trying to open up my phone at the same. I'm trying to multitask. So you can take a picture of that, a screenshot, and then you can flip it in your camera right there. Flip it in your camera. Okay. And if you go there, you'll see my face. Okay. And you'll see the total body reset right here. And this is what I'm going to go over right now. And when you go into that, there's a video right here. It's a video right there where you can see me going through this at a deeper level. So don't leave confused. Okay. Don't do that. And that's whatever. So when I started turning back my insulin resistance a little over 10 years ago, I was a 2X in size. I had not dealt with I had not taken, the only time prior to me being 50 and a 2X that I had lost any weight was when I was 30, the year that my dad died. 6 months before he died, I just lost a bunch of weight, probably super unhealthy. I think it was a very severe calorie restriction. And so for his funeral, I felt really good about the size that I was at the time, whatever, but then I quickly gained it all back. I didn't pay any attention to my life at all. I went on to then, because I was 30, so I spent all of my 30s eating everything white. And then I hit 40s and I was perimenopausal, and I had no idea that insulin was even a hormone, or that high insulin would then flip over all of the other hormones. Like it would exacerbate everything. I had no idea that this was a thing. So I'm just not walking around like with massive brain fog and a complete inability to multitask. I'm working a job outside of the home because I had homeschooled for a long time, blah, blah, blah. And I just didn't know what to do. And then came my 50s, and I learned what I'm going to tell you right now. So I realized that there were a couple of things that were blocking me, and I probably learned them from Maria Emmerich first, and then so many other people after that. Number 1 is when you have high insulin, you cannot burn fat. And number 2 is if you have a sluggish liver, you cannot burn fat. And for me, I was I was concerned about my sugars, that I was too scared to go get checked because my mom was all over me about it, because obviously with my dad. So she was really, really badgering me in a God bless you later on way, because I would not have been so scared had I not had her in my life. So I'm super thankful. And so I started to do some supplementing just because I was so like, I didn't think I could trade out my foods. Now, if you know me now, I'm still Italian. I haven't changed my nationality at all. And so like last Saturday, we did a Zoom. Some of you did this with me, and we made a keto lasagna, and I brought a keto and a regular lasagna to Christmas Eve. And you know what? The keto one was almost a bigger hit. I'm not even going to lie. And they were the exact same ingredients except for the layering, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I just didn't think I could trade out my food. So I started with supplements. So here we go. I started with these three sups that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. Had no idea, like this. See if this works. I mean, that was me. Okay. So I'm just telling you the truth. This one brings down insulin and sugars. Notice I didn't say just sugars. Sugar is in your blood. Insulin is a hormone. Insulin is high inflammation. Get it down. Okay. And I did take some extras of these during Christmas time. I should chat with you guys about that. Anyway, second one is for liver. Notice, you're going to notice 3 of these are for your liver, 3 out of the 6. It's very important for you to understand why. So liver, and this one is for your metabolism. Okay. Little tiny one right there. Okay. I did these, helped me to lose 3 sizes while I was figuring out my food. Okay. Fourth piece is the gut primer. This is something you take every morning. It is not just a greens product. I suppose I can take my little white thing out now. It's not just a greens product. I have one of those too. I always tell you that. Like I have one that is, you can look it up when you're on my site, if you want to look at the superfood. It's organic. It's sweetened with stevia. Amazing. My husband likes to mix that with this. He likes to do both because he's crazy. But anyway, so this is a gut primer. It has everything you need to support the healing and the sealing of your gut. And you need that so badly. You need this. This is liver. So this is your number 2 piece for your liver. This is liver. This is digestion. This is helping you with your impacted waste moving through your body. You know, you can have diarrhea one day, constipation the next day, and go back and forth. And it doesn't mean you're stuck on one or the other. It just means that your body is releasing around stuff, etc. Right? So that vulnerability of bathroom habits or whatever, this is so helpful. This has everything that you need. The greens are already fermented, especially if you do not have a gallbladder. 1 little scoop, I put it in cold water in the morning and I take it like a wellness shot because I'm not a green tea person. And this is very green tea tasting. Okay, there you go. The 5th one is a probiotic because you have to repopulate the good bacteria in your gut. You have to. We are so messed up in our guts. It's a little mind-boggling. But it's just the way that we eat. It's the way that we take over-the-counter meds. It's the way that we live stressed. It's the way that we take a lot of scripts. It's the way that we do everything. We eat out all the time. We do so many things. So this is where the 5 live strains, and you just put them right on your tongue, just like that. Okay, that's a powder. And then the last one is again for your liver. So 3 for your liver, 1 for your metabolism, 1 for your insulin and sugars, and 1 for your probiotic, all of your immunity, etc. And this is the last piece. This tastes like orange candy. It's a powder. It's a clinical dose of an extract that targets your visceral fat. This is literally, in my opinion, I've said it before, this is like the Jetsons. Like you wanted to be able to push a button and have something come out that would help you target visceral fat. You wanted that when you were watching the Jetsons. So that's what happens when it targets that fat underneath the fat that you can squeeze. Okay. And this is where everybody is losing the inches. So I always tell you, measure yourself, measure under your boob, measure your waist, measure your hips, write it down on a little paper, keep it in your bathroom drawer, and do this 90 days on, 30 days off. I'm just about to do my 30 days off. Makes me sad, but that's okay. 90 days on, 30 days off. And do you want to know that like the real measuring is great? Again, I'm so happy for anybody that's losing weight, losing sizes. But my favorite testimonies are when somebody sends me a visceral fat scan. Because you know that fat is not of no effect. That's not just the fat that like is annoying. It's like active. It's alive. It's emitting inflammation and hormones. And you need to get rid of it like right now. You need to get rid of it. So my favorite things are when somebody will send me like I don't want to, well, it doesn't matter. One of my customers, I don't think she's on here today yet, an MRI of her fatty liver going from bad to mild. Like these are really serious implications, right? Okay, so this is the total, all 6 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's the total body reset. This is where all those testimonies come from. So if you want information, you can, I had told people you could reach out to me and you could say to me, you know, like you needed information the day after Christmas. I'll reach out to people who wanted me to remind them today, just because Christmas gets a lot in our brain. But the biggest reason right now, in my opinion, is because everybody else is going to wake up January 1st and they're going to think about doing something for their weight. And it may or may not last because that kind of a resolution isn't really a decision. That's more of a wish and not a strategy. It's not a plan that can produce. It's just the way that is. And ask me how I know. Because I didn't do anything until I was almost 50. I think maybe I went through a few New Year's Eves and had thought processes and crossing my fingers. Just, I get it. Like, no shame. Just, it is what it is. It is what it is. So again, you can always like message me in my messenger, get into my DM. You can go onto my site, kirstenliebelt.com, like this. Okay. There it is. Take a screenshot, flip it if you need to. It's on the screen for you guys on Facebook. But if you go all the way to the bottom, one swipe, that's it. See, short, one swipe. Here's all of my contact information right there. And you can be like, okay, that was super interesting that what you're talking about today. And I'm not really quite sure I understand. And this is what's going on with me. And so can I ask you a few questions, whatever. Perfect. Let's chat. Let's chat. And then the last reason why starting now in December is so brilliant is because they do have a customer campaign that says when you purchase $150 or more 3 months in a row, this is regular all year long. You can do it on repeat. This is how you're going to have a year of sustained results, a year of sustained consistency, a year of getting to your goal and then being somebody like Terry that says, I've kept it off for a year. I've kept mine off now for a handful of years. Like this has never happened to me before in my entire life. It's not because I'm following a program. It's because I'm targeting my systems. I restarted my engine. I restarted my motherboard. Now I understand now what I'm doing, right? And that's exactly what's happening with you. And your duplication is like, it's very life-giving, right? So anyway, so right here at the very top is my face. And if you want to see the total body reset, it's right here. Second button right there. You'll find some free stuff on that site too, like a free protein blueprint. But here is the 9-minute video right there. If you want to just see me walking through what I did with a little more understanding. Some of you, that's your personality. You need a little bit more understanding. Some of you have already gone and you've purchased. This is everybody's personality. There's a lot of different personalities going on right now. I'm just telling you, this is how this works. I know this. Because that's me too. What was it that I did just recently? Hold on. What did I buy? Oh, I'm not going to talk about it yet. It's something that I'm testing. And I bought it. And then I bought it. And then I came back and I said to the lady, because whatever, I said to the lady, I go, okay, I just purchased that. Can you answer a few questions for me? And she just laughed. And I'm like, because I understand there are all different kinds of personalities and I love all of them. You guys are great. It's perfect, right? Jacqueline, good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. She says, that's it. Strategy, not a wish. A strategy, not a wish. You have to have a strategy. And I'm here to like deliver you up on a silver platter, a strategy. So this is why I do it the way that I do it. Okay. So a little insight into my brain, because I know that if I will help you during the week to have understanding here and to have like a little bit of mindset so that you aren't so connected here all the time, so that you can get out of yourself and stop being mean to yourself. If I can help you daily, Monday through Friday, which is what we do at 11 a.m. Central, and then we can do the challenge every month. You can take this total body reset and you can go boom and get amplified, accelerated, 10x, 100x results. Because this is the physical piece. This is actually the easy piece. This is easy, super easy. 3 times a day, 2 times a day, 2 times a day, once. That's easy. Put an alarm on your phone, easy. Those are the pieces. But that's where like my entire life experience since I was bribed to lose weight at 11 can help you. So there is a strategy in this. And some of you have like, you've dove right in and you've grabbed that strategy and you've ran with it. And makes me so happy. Okay, so hold on. Oh, Joan says, thank you, Lord, for your brother coming home, Carmel. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. Carmel, are you taking the lion's mane from Kirsten's line? Oh, Kathy, she says, I just realized you were on today. We'll catch the rest on replay. Perfect. Okay, Cindy says, doctor said, I am told I am now pre-diabetic. We will watch the numbers. Amen. Yes, because it's so turnaroundable. It's so turnaroundable. It is. Your mom and her 6 sisters all passed from complications of Alzheimer's. Wow, Joan. Very, very long goodbye. It is a long goodbye. It is. And it's interesting because I was talking to this lady that I met this week, and we both agreed that by the time they're gone, you've already said goodbye. And so we were just talking about how that feels to us, because people would be like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And you're like, of course, people are being so nice, but you're like, oh no, we're good. We're good. Because Alzheimer's sucks. It sucks. And by then you've already said goodbye. You watched the essence of them go, and it's a terrible disease. So anyway, so to answer your question though, Lynn, I believe I can check and tell you, but I believe she is taking my lion's mane. I do believe so, because she must have jumped off. So anyway, all right. So that's what we're doing today now. If you are feeling like you're just a little like still woozy from the holidays, just know that you can, if you already have this particular one right here that helps your glucose and your insulin, double up on this, while you're kind of going through the weekend. Some of you might be feeling like you are trying to get back on course. And so the glucose product is so helpful to bring down your insulin and your sugars. Remember, I have a friend who she took 2, instead of taking one of these 3 times a day, she took 2 3 times a day. And even if she didn't take it like right when she ate, she would take it when she remembered, and it shifted everything for her. So it's very beneficial. So this one is something you can double up on. I doubled up on this, and then I did have I was very metered, but I still wanted to try a few things. So I tried because we have an Italian cookie called a pizzelle. So my sister made the dough and my daughter made the cookies. And so I had 1.5 of those. What else did I do? There was a piece of candy homemade that somebody made that my sister and I split. Because whatever. I could have eaten 55 of those. We both looked at each other and went, so good. Trying to think, what else did I do? I know I did something else. Oh, I know what I did. So have you ever heard of the company called Everything Bundt Cake? Have you heard of that company? They're terrible, nasty, awful. Like the ingredients are really bad. But so the cake didn't excite me very much, but the frosting, the cream cheese frosting. Oh. So I totally ate cream cheese frosting. But you know what? I just doubled up. And then when I went to the movie yesterday, I just didn't extend everything, right? I brought, I'll talk about that in my stories. I won't go into that here. I brought some stuff that I just took with me to the movie with my grandsons. And so you might, I don't know where you are in your journey now this weekend. years ago when it was my first Christmas season, I would have felt like I was thrown for a loop for a little while. And so I'm speaking to the person who feels like you're still kind of reeling a tiny bit because you dipped your toe and you're like, you're still dealing with some mental stuff. Like double up on this and double up on your gut primer. Okay. Take maybe one in the morning and one at night, and just kind of keep your system flowing, keep your liver working for you, keep everything moving, get your insulin down, like tamp, like a pole tamper. We had land at one point anyway. So there you go. All right. I will see you Monday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we will do this again, and then put it on your calendar, because then the following Monday, because now this week is going to go fast again, because now we have another holiday. We have New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So we're still not out of the thick of it, right? If you started even last month, if you did like the total body reset and it was your first month, don't miss December. Don't miss December, because then when you do January, not only will you get your $75 off, but you'll get an extra $50 bonus. Don't miss out on somebody paying you for an opportunity to see what will work for your body. Like, don't sabotage. That's really what I want to say. So yes, you have a great weekend too, Terry. So good to have you jump on. And I'll see everybody on Monday. And if you have anything in the meantime over the weekend, reach out, okay? And then we're just going to slide right into 2026. And we'll start our 5-day challenge on Monday, the 5th of January. Okay? So, all right. Mwah. Have the best day ever on the face of the planet, and have a really good weekend, okay? See you guys later. Love you. Bye.